So, hello, I am Elizabeth from the Relationship Reset Program, and I help people take their relationships from merely surviving to thriving. And today I am speaking with Paula, who is a participant in our original Relationship Reset Program in our live sessions. And Paula's she's an OG. And she liked the program so much that she joined it a second time when we put our curriculum online. And I think Paula is a perfect person to talk to you about her participation, her experience in the Relationship Reset program. So, welcome, Paula. All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you.
So, Paula, I guess the first question is what made you sign up for the Relationship Reset program in the first place?
Well, I was somewhat new in a relationship, and our first few years with my partner were kind of lots of sort of ups and downs. And we really didn't know how to communicate very well. That became abundantly clear. I mean, you kind of go through that honeymoon phase where everybody agrees with everything all the time. I told him I loved hockey when I didn't. He told me he loved wine, and he's a beer drinker. So, sometimes when
That's
you get
right.
into the muck of it, and when he moved in, there's no way to sort of there's no second act. I mean, it's all live, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so it became abundantly clear that we really didn't know how to communicate well or at all. And when there was any kind of conflict, he would completely shut down. And I blamed myself for that shutdown. And I would sort of out of the room and have a cry. And so I became quite emotional during those sort of conflicts. And it felt like it was a cycle that we were kind of doing. We'd do all right, there'd be a conflict, and then there'd be this struggle, and then the void and the cry. It felt like a bit of a wash, rinse, repeat in our relationship.
Mm,
So, and those wash, rinse, repeats were happening maybe a little quickly, right? So,
yeah,
I really joined the program because I wanted this relationship reset program to help break this kind of wash, rinse, repeat cycle that we had, because it was
yeah.
feeling very much like, why am I doing this?
Right,
Like,
right.
why am I always, what am I supposed to cry this much in a relationship? Who
Yeah,
knows? And so I did know things because when they were good, we did get along. I mean, we have a lot of things in common, and when things were good, they were quite good. So I knew that things could be better, but I really just didn't know how. And I think
yeah,
that's really the crux of why I wanted to be part of this program to sort of, well, like you said, make things thrive a little more because uh, we do so much surviving in other areas of our lives. We don't want this part to just be merely surviving too.
yeah. You want to thrive. You want to
That's
thrive.
exactly right. That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Oh, I totally get that. And in the years that I've been doing counseling and coaching, relationship coaching, I've seen and worked with many couples and individuals that describe exactly what you just described today. And it's like they're kind of caught in a cycle that they don't really know how to break out of. And so, whether it's communication, just not being there and being able to discuss the deep things, or whether it's old wounds being triggered, or it's having the same argument over and over, like with no result. So many couples experience this. I've experienced it as well with my husband. And, that's what's so great about the program is that it does address those things kind of at a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes people will come into, say, a couples counseling session, and they will bring all their stuff in and sort of want the counselor to be the referee. And then they're like, okay, 3, 4 sessions, okay, that's it, we're done. And they may not take those tools and skills learned in the sessions and implement them when they're back at
Mm-hmm.
home away from the counselor. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I wanted to create this program where you don't even have to come in as a couple. You can come in as one person, the individual who has said, I'm going to learn some new skills and concepts and tools. I'm going to lead in my relationship, and I'm going to share those with my partner. And so, so many people feel like, oh, well, this must not be working because we can't seem to get it. But what they're really lacking is they're lacking the right tools and
Mhm.
concepts and frameworks, as you know. And then, we can address that at a deep level. And when you started with the program, and then the second time when we moved the curriculum online, it was women. But, for this new session, I just wanted to add that we also are opening it up to men too, because men need these skills just as much as women do. We all need them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone can take the opportunity to lead by
Yeah,
example and lead in their relationship, which is
that's
what I
right.
did. And it could have just as easily been Jason. One person sort of makes a bit of a change, and then the other person notices, and I think that's
Yeah.
where the
And they're
magic
like,
happens. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, where the magic happens because your partner can sense that there's been a shift somehow. Oh, well, we're not having the same old fight.
Hmm.
Like, Paul has shifted something.
Hmm.
She
Hmm.
approached me differently. I can't quite put my finger on it, but this isn't how it usually goes.
Yes.
And then it just takes that one person to break that negative conflict cycle, right? And so
Hmm.
it's so common with so many couples and individuals, and it really does just take that one person who wants to step forward and learn these things, right?
Hmm.
So thank you for sharing that, Paula. Now, I was going to also ask you today, might be a benefit for people who are listening. Like, you know, if you just had to sum it up briefly, what's like one thing, one change that you've seen from the way your relationship was before to the way it is now? Like,
Yeah.
where's the transformation been?
Yes.
Like, how did
Yeah.
you go from just surviving to thriving?
Yes. So, well, like I kind of said before, we just really, I used to say we were not an effective team. We weren't able to manage conflict or even speak our needs actually to avoid the conflict in the first place. So it was hard to actually just, yeah, that crux of the communication and just not be, the relationship wasn't an effective team. And I think since then, with the program, I've understood more about who I am as a person. Um, it was quite funny. I think it was a little bit eye opening, not to share too much about the program, but when you first start, you realize, I mean, I read through the curriculum and I thought about that Taylor Swift song, Anti Hero. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. So I mean, not to say that we don't all have sort of things to work on, but I realized that some of the things that I had to work on were part of the issues, part of what was causing the wash rinse repeat cycle. I was an active participant in it, and so
Mm,
how can I stop that? And so I understand now who I am, like who Jason is and what some of his sort of needs are in terms of sort of how we communicate. And how we can create a better relationship. So yeah, like I said, like lots of healing to do. The program helped me understand sort of my part, and I had the power to change it then. So once I
yeah,
know that I have a part of it, I actually I have the power to change, which I think was really encouraging for me, because it
yeah,
wasn't just like, I'm going to have to lead this horse to water and force him to drink.
right.
No, I had to lead this horse to water. I had
Yeah,
to make myself drink, which was great. And I think, I mean, it's still, we have our ups and downs, but I think we manage them so much better now. And so I think that's sort of what has sort of come from uh, implementing the program and some of the skills there. So I think what's nice is we both know that we want to be an effective team. It's not just
yeah,
me, and
yeah,
we actually both recognize when we're not. So we
right.
know when it's not happening, and then we can try again. So now it's not, I'm going to bring up a conflict, you're going to shut down, I'm going to cry, and we're going
Yeah,
to let it fester. We
right.
actually know. So I can actually identify, oh, Jason's being an ostrich now. What can I do in order to deal with this? And so I
Right.
don't, because I think sometimes with ostriches too, as it says in the program, I mean, it's an easy way to not have to avoid the conflict, right? And so
Mm,
now I will say, okay, I can see you're shutting down.
yeah,
This is still very important to me because I know what's important to me because I figured that out.
yeah.
I'm going to give you some time to figure it out, and you're going to come back to me when you're ready. And I may reach out again if I don't hear from you.
Right.
Sounds
You
very
know.
business, but that's kind of like what it
Yeah.
is, right? Like me trying to push you when your head's in the ground isn't going to do anything for us. It's not going to do anything
No.
for our relationship. And I think also sometimes I would come up to him and I would also realize things too, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but even I remember walking into the room once and he was playing video games and I said something and then I walked away and I came back and I said, I just am making a bid for your attention. That's all I want from you right now is just a little bit of your attention.
Ah,
I feel like I would. And then he was like, oh, okay. Like, it's kind of like, don't ask your husband to guess what you want for Christmas because he's not going to get it right. Just spell it out
yeah,
and he can
yeah,
do what it is. People I think are sometimes happy to comply when they know what it is. But if you leave
yeah.
it to their own devices, they maybe will just get lost.
That's
So
right.
me
Yeah,
knowing what it and so sometimes now even when I'm upset with something, why am I upset? What's going on here? What need of mine isn't being met? And is it
yeah.
Jason that needs to actually meet that need, or is it someone else, or is it
Right.
something that's got nothing to do with
So,
this? You
yeah,
know?
yeah. So, well, that's great. So it sounds like, you can now better detach yourself from actually what's occurring, sort of see, because obviously about the HILT process because you're in the program, but you can kind of see where you are. And as you asked yourself, like, do I need to look at something here? Is this something that I need to reflect on and figure out? But you are able to slow it down and
Hmm.
step away from that cycle that you
Yeah.
described at the beginning. And that's
Hmm.
super helpful. Like that kind of bird's eye view perspective is so helpful and that detachment
Hmm.
because it's like you can't see the forest for the trees when you're in it,
Oh
right?
yes,
So
absolutely.
that's great. You can do that and recognizing those bids, like how your behavior was
Hmm.
bids for
Hmm.
attention and
And
you
I
could
didn't even
name
know
it
that's what it
instead.
was. I didn't even
Yeah,
know that's what it was until we
yeah,
explained it in the program. Like, holy crap, that's what it
yeah.
is.
You can name
Okay.
it. Yeah,
Because I think some of my healing too is trying to figure out what my boundaries are, what my needs are,
yeah.
so that I can figure out when they're being met and not met. If you don't even know that, how do you know that your relationship is where you want it to be if you don't even know what it is that you want?
Ah,
So I think that
yes.
was a big thing for me too, to sort of
Yeah.
figure out what is it that I need from this person. What do I want my relationship to look like, and
Right.
how do
Yeah.
I want to actively be part of it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. Um, and also too, I think your point you made about being able to vocalize to your partner what you need to be able to speak it, because so often we're scared, we're fearful of the reaction from our partner, we're fearful about what we say, and our partners are not mind readers.
Mhm.
They could be thinking everything's groovy when in fact it's not groovy at all. And so it's that direct communication,
Absolutely.
but there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And in the
For sure.
program, we teach the right way
Absolutely.
to bridge
Yes.
that gap in communication
Yes.
because that starts right from the get-go, right?
Yes.
As you know from taking the program. So yeah, you those are great points that you hit on there. Um, I was just wondering too, I guess like one more question would be, and I know you already talked about the bids, and we talked about sort of having that pulled back perspective. Is there
Mhm.
any particular concept, without saying too much, going into too much about the program, but any other concept that you can think of that you found helpful that you still use today?
Yes. Well, it's interesting. I mean, from again, just a general overview, I feel like there was so many sort of it's interesting how much this program has kind of infiltrated how I approach my relationship. And I think to best describe it, I feel like it's like the program itself becomes like one of these you are here signs that you see when you're sort of in this trying to navigate a new place. And it helped me understand sort of the roadmap of my relationship and all the areas where I could actually affect change. So I think that was
Ah,
really great.
good.
Um, and then I think really what was quite eye opening to me, and it's really just a concept that I'm my own person, Jason's his own person, and together we form this thing called a relationship. So it really gave me the permission to let go of the blame when things kind of went askew in our
Yeah.
relationship. It wasn't like, okay, who did this to
Yeah.
us, or
Who's
who
the
did
problem
who
here?
did this
Yeah.
to me. It's who did this to us, and how can we fix
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And it's so when things go awry and there's no blame, it's not that I have a problem or Jason has a problem. And I've even said this to us. I've phrased it this way to him. I said, "There's something going on in our relationship right now, and I think we need to fix it." So it
Yeah.
actually becomes something that we can solve together, as
Yeah.
opposed to, okay, the gloves are off and who's going to take the blame on this one, who's going to
Yeah.
take the hit. Because I mean, I always found that I was very, because I'm the one who walks away and cries. I'm very easy to be like, okay, I'm the problem, it's me
Ah,
in
yeah.
that case. And it was easy for Jason to be left like there was nothing for him to do, because I was
Right.
just busy, creating all sorts of catastrophes in my mind.
Because you were the problem.
Because I
Yeah.
was the problem, and
Right.
maybe in some instances I was, because I didn't know what I wanted. So
Mm.
I didn't know who I was as part of this relationship.
Yeah.
So that made it easy too. So now, I mean, when our relationship has a problem, it feels very much like the with the relationship reset program, that really these things are fixable,
Hmm.
and that's, when it comes to things like communication skills and sort of trying to
Yeah.
figure that navigate sort of that stuff, right? So
Yeah. That's right. That's right. And I think a lot of, couples and individuals that I've worked with, like some have tried the couples counseling, they've read the books, they've watched the videos on YouTube, and they're still not getting it. And this program is kind of for those people who they just may, you need space and time to work on
yeah,
these things that are a bit deeper. And your relationship, sometimes I see people have been in a relationship for 20 years. Well, in two couples counseling therapy sessions, you're not going to resolve 20 years of built up resentment
no,
and issues, right?
no,
And that's the beauty of this program, is that there's no end date. It's self-paced. You have the time to delve in, delve out. If
yeah,
life gets busy and you can't do much, that's okay. It's
yeah.
self-paced. And
Yes.
so
Or
I
if you
feel
think
like,
things are going fine and then there's a bit of a blip, you can go back and go, okay, you know what? I
yeah,
think I
what
need
are,
to reread that little bit, because I think, or maybe that script I heard about that I didn't need then, I do need now.
yeah,
And so I can go back and I can take advantage of that opportunity to sort of have that tool or that tip or that resource,
right.
which is really great, I think, too,
Yeah,
because it
yeah,
does take a long time. And sometimes, but what's nice too is that there is that sort of, um, opportunity to also keep you accountable, because
yeah,
you're in this program and you can actually reach out for help if you need it and things like that too. So it kind of
yeah.
keeps you on track if you want that, right? So
Right, right. Yeah, no, it's true. And having said that, there is the time and space. Sometimes also, from feedback that I've got, is that sometimes it just takes one concept for the shoe to drop, so to
yeah,
speak. And
yeah,
it's like, oh, and that's quick. And that can be quick. And all of a sudden you're interacting with your partner and you're like, oh, this is what's happening right now.
yes,
And now I know what to do. And
yeah,
so not all things take a long time. Some of the
very
deeper
true.
healing, the old hurts and things like
Yes,
that, things that we get triggered by can. But sometimes all you need is a concept or fresh
yes,
eyes
yes,
to say, oh, this is what's going on, and now I know how to address it.
for
And so
sure,
I think I that's what I really like about the program, that it's got something for everyone at every stage,
for
kind of,
sure.
if you know
No,
what.
there's, I
Yeah,
think in a lot of the readings and sort of the learnings, there's been lots of aha moments where you're like, oh, that's what it's called, what I've been doing. And this is why, and this is, yeah, I do that all the time. And so then
yeah.
you can sort of recognize it. And like, I think I've heard, you got to name it to tame it, I
Got
guess
to
is
name
what
it
they
to
say.
tame it. That's right. That's right. Well, Paula, this is really helpful, I think, to people who will see this video and be wondering what the program's all about.
Mhm.
Is there anything you want to say as we wrap up, or do you feel like you've said what you need to say? And
Well, I guess just to be like completely overt, if you were to ask me if I would recommend the program, I would say absolutely. It helped me recognize myself and who I want to be in my relationship, and it gave me the tools so I could show up the way I wanted to each day. And when things get wonky, and they always do because it is life, I can, like I said, we can name it to tame it, but I can see it and I can stop and pause
Yeah.
and respond instead of reacting to some of my old hurts, which I had done in the past. And so, and I can also recognize it in my partner, and I can respond in a way that helps him grow and change too. So it's kind of neat that way because it's like you had said, you know, one person takes it. It's kind of like a buy one get one free program, right? One person
That's
takes it and
right.
the other person gets it for free.
That's right.
We both I took the program, but I think we both learned. And it was kind of funny because the other day he even told me something. We were talking about how we communicate differently now, and I may have told him I was going to be doing this, and he's like, well, he said it was really interesting because, you know, now when we have some sort of conflict, we know how to stop and we can reset our relationship and try again. And he didn't know what the
Mm.
name of the program was.
Reset.
So
Yeah.
he was saying reset, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. So he's
Yeah.
obviously learned through relationship osmosis. So
Yes,
so
and
it's
it can
good.
be done, right? And it's you stepping into, or whoever takes the program, you in this case, into your own inner wisdom, into your
Yes.
own self-leadership,
Yeah.
and having the tools and the skills to break cycles that are unhelpful.
For
And
sure.
then by osmosis, your partner picks up
Yes.
on this, right?
Yeah.
So much of what we convey is unspoken and unconscious, and all it takes is a slight shift in
Yes.
some cases, right?
Which is
So,
nice. And I think the program too is great because it does have sort of you there, and you've been doing this for a long time, and you
yeah,
have been helping couples and, you know, working on online content and doing all sorts of things in terms of providing support and resources, and you're constantly sort of learning more. So you're
yeah, yeah,
always giving us a little bit of insight into things to sort of help us along when we need it. But if you want to be doing it on your own, you absolutely can do that too. So
right.
it's kind of nice
Yeah,
that you have both of that sort of support and the experience as a couples counselor, but also just the ability to self-pace that. So if you can't sleep at 3 a.m. because you're postmenopausal, you can go and take a little bit of the program, and no one's going to mind.
that's right. Do it all at your own pace.
Yes,
Yeah. But if you need help, then the support's there. I'm here. We have a support in the Facebook group as well, as you know.
hmm,
So it's a good wraparound program, I
for
think.
sure.
So, well, thank you very much, Paula, for,
Mm,
coming here today on this call and sharing your experience of the program. And I hope it'll be helpful to people who are maybe struggling. Maybe their relationships are just surviving and they want it to be thriving, and this is who this is for. And so if you're interested in any more information or finding out about how to sign up for the relationship reset program, then you just can look at the link, book a call with me in the calendar link in the comment sections below this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well while you're here. All right, thanks, Paula. Thanks, everybody.
thank you.
Bye bye.